In this video, I'm going to talk a bit about how to make a histogram with the program Excel. And the version that I'm using is, I think, 2013. There are many different versions of Excel. One thing you need to have on your Excel package is when you select data, you need to be able to see data analysis over here as one of your choices. If you don't have a data analysis key, then you're going to have to actually try to activate uh, the analysis tool pack, which it's found in many different places on different versions of Excel, but usually it's under File, under Options, and Add-ins, and you'd want to select and activate your analysis tool pack. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to enter your raw data into a spreadsheet. Here I've got some wait times. I've got 24 pieces of data entered. And after you get it in, you're going to want to observe what your smallest and largest values are so you can make a decision about how to group the data. If you've only got 24 or 25 pieces of data, you don't want to make more than maybe 6 or 7 groupings. So I've chosen a bin width here. Sometimes that's called a bin width, the way you're going to group these things, by 60s. So I'm going from 0 to 60, 60 to 120, and so on. It's not that important that you write down the bin widths. However, it is important that you put into cells the upper limits of these bin widths. So I've kind of listed the bin widths here, and then I'm taking the 60, the 120, the 180, the 240, and so on, and I'm putting those in their own column called upper limits. At that point, you're going to want to select the data analysis key over here, and what's going to come up when you do that is something that looks like this. The histogram is what you want to choose in this list. There's several items in here and you want to hit OK. And once you do that, you're going to see something that looks like this. At this point, you're going to want to look at where your first A2, where your first wait time is, and you're going to want to tell your input range here to start with A2 and then do a colon, and you want that to go all the way up to A24. So you can type that in. And then in your bin range, you want to select your E column here. You want to start with E2, which is your first cell right here, and then a colon, and you want to go up to E7. And you can put this information that you're going to produce, your histogram and your frequency table, anywhere you'd like to. I have selected to put it on a new worksheet. So I'm going to put it in a new worksheet, and I'm going to make sure that chart output is selected so I can actually see the histogram. Once I do that, I'm going to hit OK, and that's going to end up looking something like this. You can see that I have a frequency table that it's been generated, and the upper limit on my bin width is listed with how many pieces of data fell within that bin width. And then I also have this histogram, which isn't looking amazing, but we can work on making it look better. First thing we're going to do is make it a little bit bigger just by stretching it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make it look a little bigger. And as you can see, there is a lot of gap between my bars, which isn't really the norm for a histogram. We like to keep those kind of close together. This looks more like a bar chart. So if you click on the bars, you can see they're kind of all come up together. And so I'm going to double click on the bars, and that opens up this little format data point and these different areas over here. And you notice the first thing that comes up is the gap width. So if I take that down to 0, then these bars are going to all get put together as one thing. Now, I might want to put things like, make sure these are delineated with, they look like they're kind of all together here, like they don't really have lines between each of them. So if I click on that and I over here maybe look under my fill and my lines, maybe I want to put a solid line on my border between them. Let's see what else we have down here. Or maybe I want to change the color on that border. Maybe I want to make it black instead of, oh, that's the fill. That's the actual fill. So you can change the color of the fill. We can keep it at blue. Looks like I've got lines now going around the edges of my bars. If I click on the numbers, for example, I can I can look over here. There's a little thing that comes up here. So for example, if I want to look, if maybe I don't want the word more right there. Maybe there's no more that I want to see on here. So if I uncheck more and hit apply, it's going to take off that thing that says more. If I click on bin, I can put titles down here. Like I can put time in minutes, something like that. You can click on frequency and change the frequency. If you don't want it to say frequency, you can say something else. Up here on histogram, you can put a title, waiting times. This doesn't seem to be waiting times, something like that in your title. So you can get this looking the way that you want to with the editing. And once you get it done, that's going to be your histogram.